Okay, so what I'll do, I'll play a little bit of the game, and then if Spark hops into the stream at any point, I'll go ahead and get around to making his character. But for now, we have our 3 mercenaries, which I believe fills our party up pretty nicely. We have more people in the party now than what the game would probably expect us to have. I kind of want to just like make sure that I talk with everyone in here first, pick up any quests that might be going, and then I'll head out into the world and see what has happened to Canabras since I was last on solid ground, I suppose. Okay, so Lan. Let me grab a cup of coffee, by which I mean pour coffee from my thermos into my mug. Heads up for you all in chat this morning. The coffee is fantastic today, and that normally means it's going to be a nice stream as well. The omens have spoken. Okay, so we head up to Lan, and Lan greets us with a nod. Here for a chat. I've been waiting for you to come and see what strange beast you've taken into your party. I'd like to know more about you, Lan. Let me guess. Your first question is, can you wear a hat with 1 horn? Am I right? Oh boy. You speak common much better than the rest of your tribe. Mongrels have short lifespans, but you don't look like you're getting old or dying. How old are you? I want to talk about Wendwag. Ooh, sore topic I would imagine, right? So, can you wear a hat with 1 horn? I mean, we're going to go right in. So, Lan, can you wear a hat with 1 horn? Sure I can, but certain designs don't suit me well. Oh, Lan speaks in a deadly serious voice. Jeez. You speak common much better than the rest of your tribe. Funnily enough, he doesn't speak common well at all. That's what I was trying to indicate there. It's not that I can't speak English. Funnily enough, common isn't all that common underground, Lan says. But your observation is correct. I used to live on the surface with my parents for a while, and I had a chance to learn a couple things. The language, and the fact that every peasant who sees my scaly mug screams, "Demon!" and runs away. I don't know if you're interested, but my mum wasn't from an underground tribe. She was a smuggler. The kind that used the dungeons of Canabras to secretly move and store goods. One time, 2 gangs couldn't agree on how to share a prime cut. Got into a fight, and the winners threw the losers down a hole, dead and living alike. My dad went to check if the corpses had anything useful on them, and he found a girl from the surface, barely clinging to life. An incredible feeling sparked between them, or maybe the girl just liked men with scales and a cat nose. Wait, your dad had a cat nose? Okay, that might be it. One way or another, he got her back on her feet, and later he even left his home caves. She left her smuggling behind, and they began an honest life together. Right. That's the delightful story of how Old Lan came into this world. The next chapter, however, my family and I never stayed in one place for long. We lived sometimes on the surface, sometimes on the ground. We couldn't find a place to call home. Living in the caves was hard on my mum. And my dad's appearance raised too many questions in Mendev. They're at war against the demons after all. In the end, my parents decided to stop making each other miserable and separated. My father and I returned to our tribe. I think the peasants screaming demon had something to do with it. Or maybe Dad just couldn't stand life without rat tail soup. I wouldn't rule out the possibility. I mean, did you come with me so you could see the surface again then? No, that wasn't it. I just don't have much patience for certain types of creatures. Demons, I mean. If they want to destroy Canabras, I'll be on the side of the people that they're attacking. Lan looks away. Lan, you're my companion, and companions should trust each other. I'm counting on you to give me an honest answer, not excuses. Lan looks ashamed. I guess you're right. I shouldn't be so evasive. It's just some things are hard to talk about. My family, for example. My birth, hell take me, turned out to be a great misfortune for my parents. All because I'm relatively healthy. I'm the best thing that can come from a marriage between a cave-dwelling mongrel and anyone from the surface. A healthy child with the right number of hands and feet, no apparent defects, no missing organs or other problems. They saw hope in me, so they risked having more children. They thought it would somehow be alright. Oh, a growl edges into Lan's voice. I could have had 4 brothers. The first was born 2 years after me and died 3 years later. He didn't have a nose, nothing even remotely resembling one. He could only breathe through his mouth. Mum and Dad were afraid to take their eyes off him, for fear he'd choke and suffocate on something. But in the end, it was his weak heart that killed him. There was another pregnancy, and birth. I pretended I was sleeping, but snuck out of my bedroom and listened under the door. All those hours, it was very strange, but I never heard the newborn screaming. Mum moaning, yes, the priest praying, sorry. Then I dared to open the door a little and looked inside. The priest stood there, very pale. One of them was holding something, a small object that fit in his palm. He asked, "Do you know what this is?" And the other said, "I think it's a head." Oh. I mean, I feel like that's pushy. Please go on, but enough. You don't have to keep going if it hurts you. Hell no. I started to tell you and I'll make it to the end. You want to know why I followed you to the surface? Well, here's the reason. Lan pauses, exhales, and continues in a steadier voice. It turned out that this time Mum was expecting triplets. The first of the babies was born in pieces, and the 2 others didn't live long enough to draw their first breath. About 3 weeks later, my father took me to the caves. He didn't want to leave. I could see it in his face, but I think Mum and he decided together. The curse my people have carried since the first crusade stood between them, not to mention the 4 dead babies. And old age was rapidly taking its toll on my father. After we returned to the cave, he only lived another 4 years. Oh, jeez. Jeez, oh, jeez. So if you're asking me why I decided to go up with you to the surface and join the Crusaders, well, the answer is, I've always wanted to. I was afraid to leave my tribe, but it had always haunted me that I'd die in a world where 4 crusades could do nothing to stop the beasts from the abyss. And the number of victims kept growing. I want to change that, or at least try. And if changing things is too much to ask, then at least get a little revenge. The ones who are behind the world wound owe me a great debt. The lives of 4 brothers, and all my mother's tears, my father's broken heart. It's a lot. It's so much that killing a couple demons won't do it for me. I want to do something real, and I'm ready to pay the price. Call it my personal crusade if you like. Lan gives you a slanted grin. I used to think that things would be better if I'd never been born, but now I think I was born for this, to settle the score. Wow. Jeez. That's a lot of backstory given to us very early on. And the thing is, I feel like it's only going to keep progressing. They really didn't skimp on the writing. There's some really great writing in this game. Like the companions, I mean, don't get me wrong, when I first played the game, it felt, I didn't really warm to the companions too much. Like the companions in Kingmaker were really, really good. But there does seem to be a whole other level of depth to Wrath of the Righteous' companions than there was. Not to say that Kingmaker's companions lack depth, but the companions in this game just seem to have a whole other level of depth to them where they seem to... There's a lot of information, there's a lot of backstory, and then after you've got that backstory, there's even more. Like, they're not gonna, there is a progression to the story, it feels like, or at least I think there's going to be. It seems like it's going to go that way. Given what we've experienced so far in such little time, or such little game time, I should say. Let me see. Why didn't you go and join the Crusaders before? Would you like to find your mother? Yeah, would you like to find your mother? No. The word flies from Lan's mouth faster than an arrow. Then after a pause, he continues. I don't want to meet her. Not because I feel any resentment, it's just that she's a half-elf. She's barely got her first grey hair, and I'll be a ramshackle old man. She's buried enough children. There's no need to make her witness the death of another one. I hope you understand. Damn. Why didn't you join the Crusades before? I couldn't just abandon my tribe. I'm the best hunter. They'll have it much harder without me, but now that the demons have nearly destroyed Canabras and the caves almost collapsed on our heads, sitting and waiting it out just wasn't an option anymore. Anyway, I'm more useful up here than I am down there. Plus, the chief let me go, which means my debt to the tribe has been paid. Wow. Well, I am very sorry, truly. Lan smiles, this time sadly. Well then, I'm lucky. I met someone who has not only helped me choose the right path, but is happy to listen to my whining. Well, Lan, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Mongrels have short lifespans, but you don't look like you're getting old or dying. How old are you exactly? Lan chuckles. I'm as old as I look, no surprises there, but remember Sul? He's 10 years older than me. I remember him back when he was a fearless warrior, and day by day I watched him turn into an old man. Him and my father. Yeah, but Lan has half-elf blood, right? Half-elf? I think it was half-elf that he said his mother was. He only said it a second ago. I'm fairly certain it's half-elf. So Lan has some elven blood in his veins. So surely that means that he's going to live a little bit longer than he otherwise would. At least. I don't know. I feel like he's probably going to live longer than the average mongrel, given that he's got a little bit of elven blood in his veins. It happens very quickly. First you miss a shot because you don't see the target as clearly as you used to. You think it's because your eyes are tired. You tell yourself it'll get better tomorrow. Then you notice you're having trouble breathing, that climbing is harder than before. Lan clenches and unclenches his human fist. Your fingers stop bending. You have to tie your sword to your hand. You can't even put on your greaves without help. When you're washing your face in a stream, sometimes you catch sight of a grey-haired, wrinkled old man you don't recognise. And this goes on, until one day you come across a cave beast and realise you can't outrun it. I feel like he's talking about his dad there. Is that him talking about his dad or what? It certainly feels like it. My dad kept diaries making all of the signs. Or marking all the signs, sorry. And I saw it too. The last year, I had to help him get out of bed, help him dress, remind him to eat. Sometimes he forgot my name. Jesus. I told him that we should have stayed on the surface, and he joked that dodging a goddess was behaviour unworthy of a crusader. He meant Pharasma. You know, from someone who's witnessed family members who, like, have deteriorated with age, that's like, it's heavy, okay? It's heavy. It's very sad to hear. Yeah. I don't know, I feel like there's a lot to these companions that, like, the first time I played it, I just didn't, or should I say the first time that I tried playing it, I just didn't really catch, you know? Let me just tab out for a sec, guys. Just checking something. There we go. It's all good. It's all good. Right. Back into the game. But yeah, I don't know. I think you have to pay attention in games like this. You can't just skip through all the dialogue options and hope that something good's gonna happen. You kind of need to pay attention, and I don't know, hearing about like the sort of issues that Lan's family has had or Lan has dealt with in the past definitely adds a little bit of, you know, emotional I don't know what the word is, like, you know, it makes me feel like a bond, like it makes me feel like the character's real, you know. It was the same with listening to Sealer talk yesterday at the end of the stream. I don't know, very good writing, very good writing. I want to talk about Wendwag. Trusty, reading all dialogues could be hard and take time, but I enjoy the game much more. Yeah, exactly, Trusty. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Definitely. I don't know. I feel like maybe the first time I tried playing it, I was going too quickly through it because I knew it was going to be a big undertaking. You know, this game, I feel like I could very easily put 100+ hours into this game. And considering the new DLC that's coming out now on March 3rd, I feel like that's only going to create an even longer playthrough. With that being said, it's the best way to play it, right? I'd rather play this sort of game, experience everything that there is with the characters, with the companions, with the world, and then kind of come to my decision about whether or not I enjoyed it afterwards, rather than diving in, skipping through all the dialogue choices, and then exiting the game with the kind of mindset of, it was pretty fun, but I mean, I don't really feel an attachment to any of the companions. That's certainly a complaint that I heard from some people, that, like, they don't feel attached to the companions. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why. Maybe they went into the game thinking that it should be handed to them. I don't know. Let's see. I want to talk about Wendwag. This might be a sore topic of conversation. Are you sure? Land size. Alright. So, where do we want to go with this? Tell me about your connection to Wendwag. Were you just friends or were you more than that? We're not going to ask that right now. We'll ask that maybe in a bit. Tell me more about your connection to Wendwag. Quick thing as well, I've noticed in this game, it's not the sort of game where you can also just exhaust all of the dialogue options and have that work for you. Like, if you say something to a character that's maybe a little bit off color, that character will think less of you, and it can affect things later on in the game, apparently. Yes, in my gameplay, 200 hours probably. I have 20 hours of play, and I'm still going to the Grey Garrison. Yeah, I can imagine that we're probably going to spend, 20 hours. What have we spent so far? The first stream that we did was 4 hours. We've done another 4 hours. So, wait, no, are we really 8 hours into the game so far? We're probably around 8 hours in, and we've only just, bearing in mind we spent a lot of time in the character creator messing about with mercenaries and with our own character. We're probably about 8 hours in at this point, and we've only just gotten to the Defender's Hall. Thank you very much for following, Trusty. Really appreciate that. Thank you for becoming a neighborino. Right, my connection to Wendwag. Where do I start? Lan turns the unexpressive reptile half of his face to you. We grew up together, trained together. She was the chief's daughter. Wait, really? Was she Sol's daughter? Or does he mean that she was a previous chief's daughter? She was groomed to be the best all her life, and then I came along. We were rivals. But we dragged each other out of the tight spots too. I've always been drawn to grand, heroic gestures, sometimes idiotic ones. Whereas Wendu liked to roam unexplored passages, finding new caves and making maps. She wanted to be a great huntress, the one who'd make it through the shield maze, but instead she... Lan shakes his head. It'd be better if she died. The death of a friend is painful, but watching a friend become a shadow of their former self is unbearable. Oh boy. There's a lot of resentment there, right? She doesn't think she's a shadow of a former self. Were you just friends or were you something more than that? I don't think we're going with that dialogue option. I feel like that leads nowhere positive. Well, were you just friends or were you something more than that? Wow, you really don't pull your punches, do you? Lan exhales loudly. There was a time when I asked myself the same question. Wendwag knew me better than anyone. She understood me better than anyone. She was my first woman, but we never loved each other. Maybe I could have grown to love her, but it always seemed like she never understood what love was. Maybe she just wasn't capable of those kinds of feelings. Wow. Do we dare? Yeah, she doesn't think she's a shadow of her former self. Of course, she thinks she did everything right, because the second she starts to doubt herself, she'll have to face the truth, to admit that she's just a cannibal that demons use as they wish. Lan's frown looks almost like a wince. She wants to get stronger and stronger, but for what? I'll never understand what drives her. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Lan. I found out everything I wanted to know. Oh, boy. Well, thanks, Lan. You've, yeah. If you ever want to reopen any more of my old wounds, you know where to find me. Oh, jeez. Well. This is awkward. Thank you, Lan. We really appreciate it. Bye for now. Oh, wait. No, that's not the end of dialogue. I thought that was like a goodbye, we're leaving. What do you think of life on the surface? It must be very difficult from life underground. You said you were prepared to risk your life for something meaningful. What exactly do you mean? Yeah, we'll go with that one. To invent a new salad and have it named after me. Lan remarks grimly, then he sighs. Wait, how can he remark that grimly? To invent a new salad and have it named after me. Like what? Like he's all mopey about having a salad named after him? Truth be told, I don't know. It would be much easier if all I really wanted was to kill demons. Then a few more demons. Then more demons after that. Good, honest rage and no needless brooding. I think I actually envy the warriors who can live like that. Okay. But I can't. If life's taught me anything, it's that there are no easy choices. Dying a glorious death isn't enough. Oh, wow. Some heroes of the Crusades did that and also saved entire settlements, erected the ward stones. Their actions kept the lands of Mendev safe for decades, and that's what I want for my dumb, short life, to have meant something. Oh boy, you think I have an exaggerated opinion of myself? Some scaly freak crawls out of the caves and wants to take control of the ward stones and flaunt Iomede's banner. Any fool can charge at the front lines of the demonic armies and die there, but what good will that do? I want something meaningful, you know? Even if I have to pay the highest price, especially if I have to pay it. There are plenty of worthier people who need to survive this war and tell everyone else what nutcases we were. Damn. Jeez. Okay. So he wants his death to have some sort of meaning. What do you think of life on the surface? It must be very difficult from life underground. Of course, as far as living conditions, the surface is definitely a better place to be. It's easy to get good food and water, not to mention build a house, and even grow a few things. In older, well-established settlements, you don't have to deal with anything scarier than rats, or maybe foxes stealing chickens. As for the kind of lives you have, I heard a story about demon worshippers abducting a whole family and sacrificing them one by one while the others watched. But there were some brave Crusader knights nearby, and they killed the villains and saved everyone. And I heard another story. A young blacksmith lost his arm in a fire, couldn't work to feed his wife and baby. They tried their best and lived from hand to mouth, but they were still destitute in the end. The desperate blacksmith robbed a traveller one night on the road, but there were some brave Crusader knights nearby, and they caught the robber and threw him in prison. Oh boy. Not long after, his wife smothered their baby and hanged herself. Oh, Jesus Christ. Up here, the same person can proudly say he's protecting the innocent from demons and then look the other way while some innocent starves just because they were born into a poor family. Queen Golfrey prolongs her life with sun orchid elixirs that cost enough to feed an entire city. Back in our caves, everyone is equally poor, and if one person starves, the whole tribe starves. We don't abandon our own in times of trouble. That's the power of a tribe. The laws of the surface are made so that some get everything and others get nothing. Tell me about it. I might just be a naive fool from the caves, but I don't understand how it's possible to have so much more and share so much less. I feel like this is very much real world sort of commentary. For some people at least. For some of the less fortunate people, IRL. Anyway, look who I'm talking to. You must know life on the surface better than I do. I'd never leave a needy person in trouble. I've been given more than most, which means I'm now more able to help others. I think, yeah, probably. Oh yes, I also have a few questions for our feckless aristocracy. I'm surprised that is feckless a common word? I know the devs are from Russia, right? Is feckless a word that translates well across other languages? Because to me, feckless is a very traditional slang term used in English, at least. I didn't know it was common in other languages, although then again, maybe they have someone on the team who, I don't know, speaks English very, very, very fluently and knows a lot of slang terms. I mean, I think feckless is just a slang term. Either way, getting caught up on one word. But I guess they'll have to wait. I guess they'll have to wait until we drive the demons back into the abyss and close the world wound. Lance smiles his strange half-smile which breaks along the border between the two sides of his face. At the end of the day, the world is full of injustice, but it's also full of mad beasts ready to tear us to pieces. Yep. Okay, well, Lan, thank you very much for your answers. So long. I think we're going to head out, okay? There's a few other people that we can talk to in here, but I think we have pressing issues to deal with out in Canabras. I want to try out some of these mercenary characters that you guys have spent your channel points to bring into the game. So I want to try them out, see how they're working. And then, you know, we'll be back here at some point. We can finish off talking to people. But for the time being, I want to get out there. And I don't feel like there's too many side quests to really pick up right now. However, we probably should have talked to Horgus. You know what? Let's go back in there. Let's talk to Horgus. I think I need to get some money off him, right? Oh, there we go. Straight away. Here, take this. Yes, it's 2,000 coins. Take your payment. That's not the right voice that I do for Horgus. Take your payment and remember that Horgus Gwyrm always keeps his word. You helped me back to the surface, and I duly paid you for escorting me. Now, speaking of our future cooperation... who said anything about future cooperation? Horgus looks at you with unvarnished disapproval, his arms folded across his chest, his foot tapping impatiently. I have a job that would be perfect for someone like you. Naturally, I'll pay generously for your services. What do you mean a job for someone like me? For an adventurer ready to sell their soul for booze and then lie down drunk in the gutter? Or do you think you're somehow different? A travelling knight, perhaps? Noble of heart, but without a coin to your name. Horgus sizes you up critically, then sighs and shrugs. You seem a reliable enough ally to me, and you did get me out of those mongrel caves, so why should I care what you do with my money once you've got it? Succeeded a perception check. Oh boy, what did we notice? Horgus seems like one of those people, who think the entire world owes them something. However, you hear notes of hysteria beneath his smug arrogance. It's as though he's really quite nervous, but taking great pains to conceal it. Noble birth doesn't give you the right to behave badly. I would ask that you refrain from such statements in the future. Horgus puts his hand on his hips. Oh really? How impudent. No one dares tell Horgus Gwyrm how to address the rabble. And yet you're still asking us to do something for you. What kind of reward are we talking about then? 1,000 gold coins. We're going for it. Double the reward and I'll think about it. Fuck. Ha! Yeah, right. For that kind of... What? Yeah, right? That does not sound like... Okay, never mind. Ha! Yes, of course. For that kind of money, I could hire Queen Golfrey herself to guard me. 1,000 is my final offer. But you gave us 2,000 to get you out the caves. Surely the surface is much more dangerous than the caves. I don't know. I think Horgus is thinking a bit backwards. Either way. So what does this job involve? You shall be my bodyguard, you see. I have good reason to believe my mansion here in Canabras. I have good reason to return to my mansion in Canabras. Sorry, I've had a bit too many drinks at the bar. I still have... well, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business. My mansion is a breathtaking building with a large garden in the wealthy part of the city. Even before the demons attacked, every thief and fraudster in the city had tried to get inside, one way or another. I shudder to imagine the state it's in now. Wait, so it's full of traps then? I have little hope that my guards were able to hold the mansion during the attack, and I expect that the servants fled when they saw the demons. Only Abadar knows what's happened then since. Therefore, I would ask that you meet me at my mansion and guard me until I complete my business. I already asked the local paladins for help, but they've no desire to set foot outside this tavern. Damned cowards and traitors. That's what they are. Also, please do take Camellia with you. Oh, here we go. I trust that girl more than the rest of your gang. She is of noble birth, after all. Ah, jeez. I mean, we have a bad feeling about Camellia. We really do. I do have a bad feeling about Camellia. I feel like she's a... I don't know. I get the sneaky suspicion that the guy that we found... Well, when we found her dead... When we found that guy dead with her with him... I get the sneaky suspicion that maybe she was the one that offed him, the one that killed him, given the fact that she wears a necklace that hides her alignment. So does that mean Horgus is a son of a bitch as well? I suppose we've just got to let this play out, right? Keep your friends close, but keep your potential enemies even closer. Let's just keep her around and see what comes of it. Oh boy. Sure thing, Horgus. Deal. 1,000 coins, please. Marvellous. Most excellent. Horgus's face relaxes, smoothing a few of the tense lines. I'll proceed to my mansion at once and wait for you there. Meanwhile, you needn't worry. I know this city like the back of my hand. Oh shit, that's new. But do hurry, unless you want me to lower your reward. Horgus, would you like to just... What an ass. What an absolute ass. Okay, I think... Wait, is that... Is he from Kingmaker? I recognize that name. I think. Is that a character from Kingmaker, or am I imagining things? I know that we've had the Eldoris mentioned. I feel like that was the priest from Kingmaker. I'm gonna check that out after stream because I don't know if anyone in stream will actually know the answer. Either way, let's head outside. Let's get some adventuring done. That's what we're here for, right? And of course for the wonderful writing that the dev team have came up with. Ooh, loot. Yes, please. 5 mugs, 6 plates, 8 spoons, and 4 rare roots. Well, that seems like a day's worth of looting done right there. Anyone out here that we need to speak to? Is there like a... I mean, I suppose it's a bit of a long shot, but is there like a Yes, there is a blacksmith right here. Oh my god, okay. Joran Vane. Oh, is this some relation to Staunton?